All right. Now for genetics, it's about cooking, just like in the kitchen. Sometimes it might be hot, but you keep aspiring. So for today class, we are talking about the pool of genetics. That's why we are mixing the males and the females. So as you can see, we have here the Boer, and the Boer itself has the reddish part of the head, then the white coloration. Then the Kalahari has red. It's red in color. So they are feeding on some salt for mineral supplementation. So you realize that these particular goats, some are crossbreed. Like that one in particular is a crossbreed, a first generation. Then we have stud Savanna there at the back. Then we have the Red Kalahari. Now the Red Kalahari, this is like someone who is living in Kilimani and Lavington. There is no difference between a Boer goat, a Savanna goat, which is white, and a Red Kalahari. So the Red Kalahari itself, you realize that this is the favorite goat when you are looking at desert conditions, because Kalahari comes from the word itself, Kalahari Desert. So when you are choosing the genetics, when you don't know between a Boer goat, a Red Kalahari, and Savanna, some depend with coloration. So if I am from Mukambani, whereby they love white goats, then I will look towards white pigmentation of using Savanna goat because of the pigmentation aspect. Then the Boer goats, those ones looking for purposes of improving the meat capacity. Now, when you look at local goats like this one, this is a Maasai goat which also has some depth. It's about genetic improvement. Now, as you can see, the way they tell you about the Boers, the Savannas, even the crosses are a little bit docile, not that wild. So when you're choosing these genetics, you must be able to learn that, number one, it's about the climatic condition, adaptability aspect. So adaptability aspect, you realize that like the Red Kalahari, they tend to do a little better in mixed environment of dry and as well as like in Narok, the Red Kalaharis are doing so well. They don't have uptake of antibiotics whenever there is a slight change of climate. You realize that when it changes the climate, some of the Red Kalaharis adapt and have some white coloration. But at the moment, we don't have rainfall, so they are in their Red Kalahari pigmentation. So this is the beauty of improving genetics. And genetics can only be corrected by choosing the right genetics. Look at these ones. These are twin. The mother is a stud. As you can see, the mother here, stud level from Savanna, then those are twins from her. So as you can look at them, they're at 4.5 months. And you can see that they might not be tall, but they are long. So generally you realize that the South African goats are not like Gala goats in terms of height, but they are long. So you realize that there is the depth aspect. And then now they might look short put, but when you raise them, they are heavy animals. So when you're looking at conversion rate, it's about choosing the right genetics that can be able to do genetic breed improvement. So you either pick the Boer goat if you love that pigmentation, or you pick Red Kalahari, or you pick Savanna. So all of them are equally good animals when it comes to meat production. It's just an issue of preference of color. That's why I was saying, when you ask me the differences, I'll ask you the difference between a Range Rover and a Land Rover, or a Land Rover and a Land Cruiser. So essentially, it's just a matter of preference. But for me, I find Red Kalahari, if you are like Maasai's and in desert areas with minimal forage, then the Red Kalahari is of choice. You realize that the Boers a little bit, from experience, whenever it rains, there's a little bit uptake of antibiotics as compared to the Red Kalaharis. That's why I also have a pool of the Red Kalahari on the farm. So